Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the GSL. It is Season 3. We've had a wonderful year so far, and we are continuing forward with this wonderful tournament. I am Artosis, and I am joined today by my good friend and StarCraft 1 pro gamer, Scan. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, thank you for coming in today. Now, for people who are not aware, just throw this out, I'll probably say it a couple times throughout the cast, Tasus is in a forced quarantine because he was in contact with someone with coronavirus, but he does not have it. He tested negative. It's just the law out here. He can't come to work for like a couple weeks, unfortunately. It sucks, but that's all right. We have Scan here today to help me out, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So, this is our schedule this week. We have a couple days of Code A. Next week, of course, we're going to finish that up, as well as the group nomination for Code S round of 16. Then the following week, on the 30th of August, we will begin and get into the juicy parts of GSL Code S. So you're definitely not going to want to miss it. It's going to be Mondays and Thursdays, 6:30 p.m. KST. So yeah, GSL is back, guys, and it is going to be amazing. So we're going to bring up our CEO, Kevin, for some words to start off the season. Andy, take it away.
Hello, Kevin. Hello. This is the last season of the GSL this year. That's right. And this year we got to see a lot of fabulous things. So anything you want to say, Kevin? Well, this is the last season for the year, season 3. And today, I've got to see some players who are coming back from their military service, like Classic and Gumiho. And Classic is playing today, so I'm really looking forward to it. I saw him in the makeup room, and I was so delighted to see him. So I hope the players who are returning, I hope they play really well. And since the situation is not so good regarding COVID, we cannot have the live audience here at the venue. Well, Kevin, thank you for your speech. And as usual, Kevin is going to kick off the season with Yuri. 2021 GSL Season 3 starts now. Let it.
Cast me in the pit.
GSL Season 2 champion in 2021. Unreal.
It can never be found.
Welcome to Dark Era. Gotta keep the flame on max. I'ma keep it going till there ain't nothing left. Watch your mouth around me. Keep the flame on max. I'ma keep it going till there ain't nothing left.
2021 GSL Season 3. Today's matchup: Zest, Classic, Green, Creator, Armani, Special. 2021 GSL Season 3. Africa TV Free Cup Studio Live 2021 GSL Season 3.
Hey guys, what is up? Again, Artosis and Scan here for the first day of GSL Code A. Tasteless in forced quarantine, unfortunately. He's fine. No, don't worry about him. You can watch me. I'm sure he'll be streaming all week. He's probably watching GSL now. And if he's not, you should probably ask him, like, does he even care about StarCraft 2? Okay, so, Scan, thank you for joining me. Now, for those of you who don't know Scan, this guy is a pro gamer in StarCraft 1. Perfect Korean, perfect English. Can you tell everybody a little bit about your StarCraft 2 experience? Because you definitely have been a strong player in that as well.
StarCraft 2 experience, I have played a little bit about Wings of Liberty just for casual games, but then after the Wings of Liberty it came out Heart of the Swarm, I started playing a little bit of a competitive scene, joining a little bit of a NA. Well, I was resided in the United States, so I joined the NA pro team, but I was not able to participate in any of the tournaments because I had a student visa. You were not able to make money outside of a school campus. So it's just pretty much like losing the motivation that I kind of don't want to keep up playing anymore.
Yeah, understandable. We had some interesting region locking things going on back then as well. But yeah, you're still a high Masters and low GM player. So it's going to be great to have you here and get your perspective as a Terran player. Now, taking a look, we have 10 Terrans, 7 Protoss, 7 Zergs. Pretty solid right there. You can see a lot of these players in Code A that we will be casting over the next few days. Some of the very exciting ones that you can see here, Gumiho and Classic both making it back. Percival is a very exciting name that we're looking at as well. And it's kind of cool to see, like, Leenock. Leenock is back. That's amazing. One of my favorite Zergs ever. Ryung is here, qualifying once again. So these are some awesome matchups. And of course, today we're going to have Zest versus Classic, Dream versus Creator, and Armani versus Special. Any of those 3 matches, Scan, that you're kind of looking forward to?
I am looking forward to see some Dreams game because he has been playing really, really well after he's done with his military service in 2019, I heard. And he has been performing much better after the military service.
Yeah, no, he's been in great shape, actually, and like really kind of rising up. And honestly, in my opinion, his Terran versus Protoss has been the most exciting of his matchups. So I'll be looking forward to that. And Creator is like, I feel like he's a gatekeeper in a lot of ways. Like, he doesn't always make it into Code S, so he's someone that can keep you out, but doesn't always. We'll see how that goes. But for me personally, I mean, I always love watching Juan play.
Oh,
Good
yeah,
friend.
he's also in my pro team, Sidestorm
That's
Gaming.
right, you're in Sidestorm Gaming as well. That's an important thing to point out there. But yeah, this first match, Zest. This is Zest's last season of Code S, guys. I know we've been saying for a while this year he is going to the military very, very soon. So this is certainly his last tournament. And obviously here he's in Code A, so this could be his last like big on-stage pro match for the next few years. Of course, he is going to be going up against an amazing Protoss player in Classic. Okay, there he is. Oh, I'm so excited about this one, Scan. Classic went out to the military on top. He was the best Protoss in the world at the end of 2019. Without a question, it was like a Zerg-dominated BlizzCon finals with Classic making it to the round of 4 with the clutchest, craziest plays. The like 12 DT blink to kill a hatchery and stuff. It was amazing. So I'm excited to see him. All right. It's going to be a best of 5, guys. We're going to go right through it. Lightshade, 2,000 atmospheres, Oxide, Romanticide, and if we get there, Nautilus.
Nautilus. I haven't seen that map. Is that a new map?
Yes, that's a GSL only map. We do like 4-player maps in GSL. Like each season, we generally get 1, which we never get on the ladder anymore. So that is what that is going to be. And all right,
GSL
it's already
Season
ready.
3.
We are rocking it through here. Let's go. PvP. Now, Scan, you're a Terran.
Dragon Phoenix Gaming.
Hold on.
Zest.
I almost forgot that we have these intros. Zest. Our lovely translator, Andy, doing the voices for us for these player shoutouts.
Alpha X. Classic.
I'm sure you guys recognize that voice. Yes, and so Scan, of course, you are a Terran player in StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2.
Yes.
More honorable even than I in that regard, as I play Protoss in StarCraft 2.
But before you switch to StarCraft 2, I heard you kind of made an announcement that you will play Terran.
Yeah.
But why did you switch to Protoss?
Well, I mean, I actually started as Zerg in StarCraft 2, but like basically when I tried Terran, the Vulture is like my key unit in StarCraft 1, and I tried the Hellion, and I was like, I don't like this unit, so I just didn't. I just didn't play Terran. And
But
thank God,
really,
looking
I
at what they
really
have to do.
love Hellion though. It
Really?
can it can transform to Hellbat, and it's really powerful in my opinion. But what we're seeing right now, Cybernetic score is going up for Classic.
Yeah, both sides here, and the double gate openers. Pretty standard stuff. Both of them just kind of scouting around a little bit. And I tell you, You know, I guess, honestly, I think StarCraft 2 has a lot of mirror. I think the mirrors are almost better than StarCraft 1. I don't know if you would agree with that. But, like, it feels like there's a lot of play. Well, ZVZ is certainly better than StarCraft 1 ZVZ, but PvP, we can get very aggressive in StarCraft 2, but I don't know. It feels like there's a lot of play in it, too. Would you agree? What would you think about that?
I feel like in StarCraft 2, their AI is so much better than StarCraft 1 that it kind of reminds me of you gotta focus more about getting army composition more than focusing on your micro. But let's see how both of the players are doing. We are seeing a little bit of a more of army supply lead by Zest.
Yeah, he's popping out a couple more stalkers here. I think we saw Classic grab a sentry right off the bat, and that's generally going to be utilized for a bit of scouting, likely going to go for that quicker expansion, or a Zest rather, sorry. And the blue in the bottom right here. So both of them throwing down that Nexus. And now we just kind of wait and see what type of tech they want to go into. A couple sentries on both sides here.
Both of the players are pretty much doing the similar build. Here's the hallucinated Phoenix. It's going towards to Classic.
Almost catches it, but wings it out of the way there. Going up towards that main base. Of course, nothing really to scout as of yet. Look at this, Classic with that forward pylon, and both sides going for the Twilight, so I'd say very likely we're going to get into Blink here.
So Blink Stalker. How about the robotic facility? When do they usually get it?
I think they'll get it like in a little bit. The thing is, when you have this many sentries, you know, you can kind of scout what your opponent's doing, so you don't necessarily need to get it for detection or anything that quickly. Like, you could hide a Dark Shrine, but it gets a little bit tricky at that point because you can put so much pressure on each other. Oh, but there it is, right? Because, see, this is kind of the cool thing about PvP in this match, or in StarCraft 2 rather, is because there are these little mind games where it's like, okay, well, we both have hallucinated Phoenixes scouting, we both see we're going Blink, so like you kind of want to put off all the rest of your tech, which makes making the Dark Shrine very powerful.
Classic will be spotting that Dark Shrine, so he knows what's coming. His forge is going to be finished.
Did he see that he saw it? Because a warping and building does not have that big of vision range, so I'm not 100% sold. Oh, did he cancel? Yeah, he canceled the Dark Shrine, okay. All right, well, that explains it for us. Classic, though, making his robo, because, of course, if you see that, you have to go for it. And then comes down to clean up that pylon. Seeing, nope, no Dark Shrine on the way.
Two depths are coming. Sentries should not be getting picked off here. They are really important using Force Shield.
Ooh. He gets two of them there, and look at this, goes forward, going to start knocking down some of these probes. Classic taking some pretty serious damage. Actually does cancel that Shade, but you know what, 2 sentries and 2 probes for 2 Adepts is an amazing trade here for Zest.
Definitely. And lost a lot of mining time, especially in mirror matchup. I believe mining time is really important.
Oh, certainly the case.
Yeah, look at the worker lead by Zest already by 4 workers.
Yeah, and Classic coming in today, someone was talking to him and he said he doesn't feel like super good about going up against Zest, obviously. You know, Zest hasn't gone to military yet, so he's been one of the best Protoss in the world for quite some time, and then Classic coming back. You know, the last big tournament he played was like fall of 2019. So that's a bit rough, right? Like that's a long time, or almost 2 years from the last event that he played. So, you know, you can see that reflected a little bit, but he is coming into pressure. Look at that, he actually leaves some of the stalkers further back. That's interesting, but now brings them forward.
Ooh, nice blink, but will he be able to pick off that sentry, I guess?
Yeah,
okay, he won't be.
He's trying to just like out DPS him there. He's one-shotting those stalkers. He takes out quite a few. Look at this, he actually does have the stalker advantage right now, but Zest has +1. He's coming back down. We have his warp in right there.
There's a little bit of a micro, yes. I think Zest needs to cancel that Nexus before it dies.
Dude, look at this. Wait, Did he cancel that?
I don't think so.
Yeah, he got a kill on that.
Yeah. So that's a huge loss by Zest, even though he had a little bit of a leading in the beginning with the 2 adepts. But this Stalker being aggressive here, it's earning all those benefits. Is he trying to blink over the high ground with the Observer?
Here comes that Observer. It looks like he does want to blink in. Oh, he's not showing it yet. He's not showing it. Oh my God. If Zest, I think he's just waiting to see if Zest moves out at all. Because if Zest kind of moves the Stalkers to the north, then that's going to be an amazing situation for him to blink in. Okay, he actually decides to blink in here, and because Zest did move, that was a beautifully placed Observer, and already getting quite a few probes.
That's a lot of mining loss by Zest, but Recall at the same time.
Look at this advantage for Classic right now. 51 workers against 36. He has his third Nexus up and mining as well. Zest is in terrible shape. I thought that he was way ahead after those 2 adepts, but Classic just kind of outdoing him.
And now, since Zest has a lot of worker by the Stalker, Blink Stalker, and I think Zest decided to go all in over here.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Like he has to get something done. He's making his Prism right now, but against the Immortals, and Classic has the +1 attack as well. And look, he has a battery here. It's like, how do you ever break that? You just can't.
The charge is going to be finished soon, and we see the Warp Prism coming, warping more units. Zest is committing to do the all-in over here.
Can he actually make a dent, though? Okay, charge is ready here for Classic, and he blinks forward. Not the best blink forward, but I don't think it matters. He gets the Prism. Yeah, that's it. GG. And Classic,
what a move,
dude.
What a move by Classic with the Blink Stalker.
Yeah, like he made that proxy gateway, which I guess Zest just didn't see, so he could reinforce quickly, and knocking down the third, the blink into the main base. Classic was all over him.
Definitely. I love that play, like finding all those proxy building of Dark Shrine, forcing Zest to cancel all those money that he was investing in the beginning.
Yeah. It felt, honestly, I felt like Zest was ahead though, because like he cancels the Dark Shrine, sure, but you're getting into Observers now, which aren't gonna, like they have use, but they're not the most useful in Stalker versus Stalker. And then he used those 2 Adepts beautifully, getting a couple Sentries, a couple Probes, but here we are. The old best Protoss in the world, up 1-0 on Zest, who's been a mainstay of the Korean scene. Now we're going to be going into map number 2, 2,000 atmospheres. See if Zest is able to start fighting back. Of course, if he gets eliminated, that's like goodbye Zest for a couple years, man, which is so sad.
I already have a feeling that pressure of doing or going into the military, having a lot of stress. Maybe that could be the reason why he could be making a little bit of a mistake from the first game. So he should be resetting all of his mindset and try to make some comeback in game number 2 over here in 2,000 atmospheres.
Yeah, well, definitely it has to affect your mindset. I think it looks like Classic might have like a little sound issue or something here, so it might take a moment. But I mean, Scan, you already actually did your military service, right?
Yeah,
like you're already set on that. But like as that was coming up, how did that affect your mental, as we say out here, with how you were like preparing, playing and competing and all that?
I really wanted to make.
We have a little setting issue right now, guys, so we're just going to get that fixed. But yeah, please tell us how that kind of affected your mentality as the military
Before
approached.
I do my military service, I wanted to actually make it into ASL stage group, but because of the pressure that I have to join the military and the due date is coming, I started playing worse and worse, and even losing to all those bad players on even on ladder.
That's
so
like
it was
that's
terrible.
like I've been getting ready to get in the military for years.
Yeah, it was a terrible year in 2018.
Yeah.
2018.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I guess it goes through my head, like Zest has won so many tournaments. He's one of the most accomplished Protosses of all time. And I wonder, like, okay, military service is coming up. How much are you actually practicing at this point? Is it the stress? Because it's like the unproven pro gamer versus the proven pro gamer. Do you think that alters the way that you approach it as you go towards the military?
I mean, if you haven't done the military service, I would suggest the players to not play too much because you start having too much of a mind going on inside of your brain that you start losing your mind and what or plan how you should be playing in the stage games. So that's that's my personal experience in 2018. Like I played a lot of games because I really wanted to make it into ASL stage, but didn't work.
Well, once you got out, it worked pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun to see Classic now back. Like he's been out of the military for what, like a month? About a month, I feel like, is when he made the tweet that he's like, "Hey, I'm back." But yeah, here he is taking that first game off of Zest, looking very, very strong. I think we have our issues fixed, so let's do it. Let's jump into map number 2, 2,000 Atmospheres.
GSL Season 3, Code. Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Zest. Alpha X, Classic.
All right, 2,000 Atmospheres. Have to see if they, what types of openings we're going to be seeing here. Obviously, Protoss vs. Protoss can have a lot of very cheesy, very aggressive openings. Doesn't have to be the case, though.
I have a personal question. Like in mirror matchup in StarCraft 2, does rush distance matter in PvP? I find 2,000 Atmospheres map seems like a rush distance seems close to each other.
Yeah, I mean, I think, well, each map, right, I guess it has to do more with like the size of the map, because maps, like basically every professional map except one map each season is a 2-player map. So it's like, it's not like in StarCraft 1 where you're like, oh, okay, well these spawns are this rush distance, these spawns are another. But yeah, I think with Protoss specifically, because of the warping mechanic, you're not actually walking that much across the map. Like you walk across, but then you warp everything there. So the rush distance is like, Protoss can negotiate that very, very easily, right? It's like basically however many Immortals you have walk across the map, and then everything else just appears. So I don't think it matters as much here for PvP.
So both of the players pretty much harassing the mineral line, trying to ruin a little bit of optimization in the beginning.
Yeah, and you can see they just kind of right-click on those minerals, trying to make probes jump to other minerals as well. And we've seen actually, you know, obviously this is a tactic that's used both in StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2, but generally here, when they do it, like I feel like most pros just will spam right-click on the mineral patch with just to keep the paired workers. Is that, I know you play some StarCraft 2 as well. Do you do that? Like, do you do the spam click, or do you just chase it with an SCV?
I think I do spam clicking in order to ruin a little bit of a mining time for the opponent. Here's going to be Classic losing the probe, scouting probe there.
All right, good pick off, good pick off. We do have that Stargate coming up for Classic, kind of a hidden location.
And Zest is going for Twilight.
Yeah, and it's a one-base Twilight.
Interesting.
Into the Nexus. So is it going to be Blink? Is it going to be DTs? We'll see momentarily here. Nexus coming up for Classic as well. Zest just kind of walking across the map right now with these 4 Stalkers. Definitely could put some pressure on him. He does go for Blink. Should be seeing an Oracle, I would say. It definitely feels like an Oracle opener for Classic with the Stargate. Yeah, there it is.
Classic made 2 adapts earlier, and he sent it towards the 5 o'clock, so he doesn't have much of an army value at his natural. And Zest is doing a little bit of a trade here. It seems like Classic is having a little bit of a hard time taking this expansion.
Oh man, he tried to save his battery and it just did not work. These 3 Stalkers have killed like 3 Stalkers already. Oh, this is bad right now. He's killed a couple probes. He knows that an Oracle is on the way. Zest is just dominating right now.
Yeah, that Stalker movement was excellent too. That's will be going inside of the main base of Zest, picking a little bit of probe here.
Well, this is the quickest way to ruin a PvP, I tell you. I mean, 2 Adepts shading in are just, it's so much damage. Now, his Oracle's outside.
Yeah, the Oracle is top of Zest main. Okay, now here's a little bit of harassment, but Stalker is ready and defending the base.
Yeah, they push that out very, very quickly. It's too bad. If he had sent that Oracle in instantaneously when there was only 2 Stalkers, he could have gotten like probably 3 more probes with it, but unfortunately unable to. And now I'm looking at this game, and it really looks Zest favored to me. He is walking across with a lot of Blink Stalkers.
Yeah, I have a feeling Classic only has 2 Oracles out on the map. We can see these 2 Oracles is trying to get some probes here, but I'm not sure if this is even worth. Can he actually defend the pressure?
He does have the battery up, so I mean, if the battery wasn't there, those Stalkers would wreck, but with the battery, it doesn't really work out as well. Okay, he does have another round of Stalkers coming up now. Trying to power him down. The overcharge is used.
I think the number of Stalkers right now, Zest has this way too much in my opinion. Can he actually hold here?
All right, well, here we go.
Ooh.
And
the overcharge seems really powerful.
Yes, yes, the overcharge in every matchup is pretty sick.
Oh.
Okay, so he blinks forward as it's running out, and it looks like Zest is just going to finish him off.
Yeah, the number of Stalkers is way too large for Classics to hold. He is losing a couple of probes. Immortal is out, but does he have another overcharge? I guess he can't.
No. All right, and that is it. GG, tied up 1-1. Classic, it felt like he was maybe a little bit too greedy this game, right? He went into those 2 depths, but also Oracle in his natural, and his battery was just not ready when the pressure came. If his battery was up, I think he holds on fine, because he goes from 2 Stalker to 3, and then the 4 Stalkers basically have to turn around. So, you know, every little thing, it makes it difficult, man. All right, tied up 1-1. Oxide is map 3. Do you feel like one player is looking a bit better?
I have a feeling Zest is somewhat making some comeback here from game number 2. Like, he is so decisive.
Well, that is Zest in a nutshell. Let's do game number 3.
Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Zest. Alpha X, Classic.
All right. So we are on Oxide now, and we should be seeing a very different game because we do have ramped naturals. Very oftentimes what you're going to see is just one gate. Well, they try to go one gate, expand into the pro blocks, and puts down a pylon, and then like you have to tech and make a zealot, and it
becomes all messy.
Yes, yes.
I think there's one game I've seen some Protoss player was making a Void Ray and Stalker and trying to kill the high ground ramp.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's even working nowadays.
Yeah, no, it does. Like, that's like, you'll see Parting do stuff like that, where on a map like this with a ramped natural, where you know there's going to be a bunch of buildings there, a lot of times Parting will do things like Proxy, Void Ray, Shield Battery, Stalker, and try to bust through, and I think it's pretty solid. It's pretty good. And in fact, Classic, he might be going for something like that. With the placement of that probe kind of over at that third base-ish area, that is a Stargate placement, I think. That
Zealot.
looks like that to me.
So Zealot is warping on the way for Zest. And as you mentioned, the pylon at the 3rd expansion for Zest, I think it should be the Stargate.
Yeah. This pylon, I'm trying to... What is he going to do over there? That could be a Stargate, that could be a Twilight, either one.
But why would you make a Twilight over there? So here is the Stargate warping on the way.
So that's probably... This is probably a Void Ray build. And then, yeah, Twilight for Zest. And that Twilight, it feels like a DT placement to me.
So who wins in this build order?
Yeah, it's a good
Isn't it
question.
kind of like a rock, paper, scissors?
It can be. Like, if you read that, if one of them reads what the other is doing or scouts it, then that player should be able to win. But, yeah, just barely missing it there.
Yeah, he was like 1 inch away from that, seeing shield battery. Okay, there's a robotic facility.
A robo to the dude. He's going to do DT drop.
Ooh.
I am pretty sure that's what he's going to do. Let's see if he does throw down the Dark Shrine. But yeah, the first Void Ray on the way. Yeah, Dark Shrine coming up. Oh, this is going to be a crazy game. No doubt about it.
How do you defend Dark Temper drop when you don't have any detector building?
Yeah, it's going to be rough because it's going to go right into his base with the drop. But at the same time, he's not going to have enough that shoots up to kill the Void Rays, right? So it's going to get a little bit base tradey, I think. I guess with the Oracle, oh my god, if you unpower the gateways.
What if you unpower those gateway? How is he going to get those Dark Temper out?
Oh man, Zest is like already dead, I think. He lost his Stalker there, he's not even microing it. He's trying to make another gateway. Oh no. Yeah, look at that, immediately going after the pylon. And with no gateway, you just can't make DTs.
Yeah, the Warp Prison is on the way, but that is going to take some while to finish those third gateway at the main base.
And yeah, I mean, the thing is, the Void Rays, there's no way for Zest to kill those, but he also has no detection. I think this is classic favor, though, right? Because he should be able to get out an Oracle for detection.
Oh, Oracle. Oh.
Yeah, so I think he can kind of kill everything and then have an Oracle to tag to reveal the DTs. And yeah,
here is the Oracle we'll be making after the third Void Ray.
Yeah, up they come again here. They go after that shield battery. The DTs get in. Now this is turning absolutely insane.
Those probes needs to evacuate, but it is somewhat trapped because of those buildings that Classic has made.
Oh my god, that's right. He can't even run his probes out, so he's just going to lose his Nexus. Zest does have enough for another Nexus, but again, literally he can't kill the Voids.
Yeah, I think Classic, oh yes, Classic has enough minerals to make another Nexus, even if he loses the Nexus. With the Oracle, I think if the game becomes a base trade, I think it might be a little bit of a better result for Classic.
Yeah, in fact, he keeps making DTs, so I think here it's actually an elimination race.
Okay, the probe did got out of base.
Well, yeah, so Zest right now, does he have any probes on the map? I don't think so.
No.
I think everything is in there. Neither of them have a Nexus. Both of them have the money for a Nexus. And I think at this point, it's like the DTs have to split up and just do their best to kill everything.
Uh-oh. So Zest decided to spend all those minerals for more shield battery.
Interesting.
So he's not going to be making a Nexus.
I guess he can make Archons? Classic, though, making the Nexus there, I mean, you have to look at that and say there's no way. Yeah, okay, that was a weird one. That was bizarre. The DT drop against the Voids. All right, Classic leads 2-1.
I wonder if the result would have been different if Zest has spotted that Stargate at the third expansion.
Yeah, I think so. Like, if he scouts it right away.
What could have been done? Would he just constantly make Stalker to stop Void Ray, or? But
the Stalker's like, he already had put so much money into everything else. Like, he still has to go DT.
Okay.
I don't know how you end up winning that, even if you scout that. Like, I think maybe you can dive on the pylon. Maybe you send a first DT over to kill it.
Maybe unpower the pylon.
Yeah,
Stargate,
that might be the way. All right, Classic so close to making it. Codes on his first try after leaving the military. We are going into set 4 on Romanticide.
GSL Season 3, Code A. Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Zest. Alpha X Classic.
All right. You know, when you got out of the military scan and could devote more time, because I mean, something people misunderstand is when pro gamers are in the military, they do play some StarCraft still, and it matters what your posting is, how much time you have. But like, how long once you get out of the military do you feel like it takes to get back your level?
Probably about 2 weeks to a month. Probably I would say a month in general. For me, it took 2 weeks to get my skill back.
Oh, okay. So that's not that bad,
because
actually.
because I wasn't doing the actual military service. I
Yeah,
was
you weren't
doing,
in a barracks,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, no, I wasn't.
Yeah.
I was doing the public service. Taking care of kids.
Actually,
it was fun.
Yeah. I'm not sure, actually, what Classic's service was. But he seems to be in good shape. Like, he's got the builds, he's executing well, and his micro looks on point. Everything looks good.
Here's something I find a little bit of a difference by both players. This time, Zest hasn't scouted really fast compared to Classic. All those 3 games from game number 1 to 3, they all doing super fast probe scout, but however, Zest hasn't scouted until now, so he's going to be spotting all those 2 gateway, seeing all those cybernetics core, spinning, an interesting wall.
Yeah. You know, I guess, like, as long as you send your probe out in time to get up there before the first gateway units are out, you'll always get the scout. But I guess if you're not scouting early, then there are things that could catch you, like maybe a cannon rush or something like that. But he does trap the probe in there. Of course, you want to throw the shield battery down. Takes a bit longer than a pylon, so you can cancel it later. And throws his Nexus down, a couple sentries on the way for that scouting intel, but Zest staying heavily on Stalker.
And yes, the 2 sentries will be coming out very soon for Classic. But pretty much both of the players are pretty much playing the same build order. I just saw the hallucinated unit just flying towards to Classic's main base.
Yeah, it's pretty
should be Phoenix.
Pretty close right now. I think we're gonna be like, we're up like a sentry right now on Classic, but that won't last for long. Zest is making them as well. So just slightly different ordering on the 2 sides, but very similar as far as the builds go. So it's kind of like reminiscent of game number 1, right? Where they're both getting the scouting done, and very likely we'll see them both throw down a Twilight at this point because of that. Right under it too. It's like, yep, here's my Twilight, and Zest is like, yep, here's mine. But now comes that question that we were talking about before, right? Do you go Robo? Do you just go right into, you know, you can always trick them with your Dark Shrine and everything.
Sometimes I really wonder about the build order, especially when you play on this Romanticide map, because the rush distance is so far and it's so easy to defend your 3rd expansion at the same time. I heard when you're playing Terran, like against Protoss, you can actually play mech on this map.
Yeah, actually that's quite true. Like, out of all of our maps in GSL, this is the one that is best for mech against Protoss, because as you said, like that 3rd base, it's basic. You have the ramp way over on the side, but you have to go so far around to attack up that ramp, it's almost like you can ignore it. So it's kind of like a 1 ramp defends 2 bases type of situation. So definitely this is a map we're more likely to get into more bases on. Blink and +1 on both sides.
Here I see Classic is already building the 3rd gas. So what does this mean to us? Is he going mass Stalker?
Well, I mean, he could just throw down extra gates and go mass Stalker. I feel like we're going to see the Robo off of him, though. Yeah, there it is. Zest, though, not throwing down another gas as of yet. Kind of interesting.
Those 2 adepts are pretty much scouting and finding also proxy pylon as well. Zest is making a pylon.
It looks like both of them are probably just going to take the 3rd. You know, it's kind of funny. The hallucination is so cheap nowadays, and whenever you get into a game like this, you get so much scouting, right? That it's like you just kind of have to walk the line of the greediest thing possible.
Here's something I find funny. So, Zest has been using the Sentry for hallucinated Phoenix. However, Classic hasn't done any of a hallucinated Phoenix so far. So he has been saving that energy for, I guess, for the push here?
Yeah, I think he did like 2 less hallucinated Phoenixes, but he sent one in right before this attack and saw the 3rd Nexus, so he is walking up again. So this is actually a lot like Game 1. We do have, I think, just a slight Stalker lead right now, but with the battery there, I don't think Zest will lose the 3rd this time.
2 Adepts will be getting inside of Zest's main base and losing a little bit of a probe here, but I guess Classic will be pulling back all of his main army.
Ooh, nice blink there to body block.
Oh,
that's so annoying. Look at this, 5 probe kills. Awesome play there from Classic. And of course, Classic does have to back up.
that is a very interesting hallucinated Stalker to fool the enemy that I have more Stalkers than you.
A lot of gates being added, +2 on both sides as well as charge. We have that Templar Archives coming up for Classic a little bit quicker, also making those Immortals. Oh, this might be actually a really interesting thing here. I don't think I've seen Zest make any Immortals yet. Have you?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, so the metagame has shifted a little. It used to be like when Classic was still active before Military, like you'd just pump Immortals basically non-stop because they were the best.
Yeah, they're pretty strong against the armor units.
Yeah, they kind of wreck Stalkers, right? But like more recently, we've seen a lot more heavy gateway compositions in PvP. But hold on, here we go. Zest comes up and picks off a little bit. He's trying to shade in with 3 Adepts at the same time. And, I mean, he'll get a little bit, but it doesn't seem like the Adepts did that much. 2 probes. Oh?
We'll be getting inside a base.
Maybe a little bit more, yeah. Okay, okay.
Even
5.
trade.
Yeah. So pretty close there. But yeah, this is kind of the part that I'm excited and interested about, is the Immortal-based play that we're seeing out of Classic, and then more modern. I think what we're going to see out of Zest is just the super mass Zealot.
We see Robotic Support Bay on the way for Zest. So is he getting Colossus?
You can actually go Colossus or Disruptor. I think it's there's like good situations for both of them. I feel like here it might be Disruptor. Yeah, okay, he's adding some Zealots. He's getting a couple items. Zest did end up making a single Immortal. Seems like that's it for now. That 4th Nexus coming up for Classic as Zest pulls back.
Classic's army looking scary over here,
Yeah.
because he got 2 Archons, he's warping more units, Charge Lot is already ready.
Zest blinking back there, picks off a Charge Lot.
I find Classic's army value is much higher. The War Prison will get picked off.
That's a huge pickoff. Without the reinforcements, it's like Classic can either go now or turn around. And yeah, it seems like he's going to pull back for now.
We can see Classic is already taking the 4th expansion. It is going to be complete very soon. Hallucinated Phoenix will be scouting towards the 12 o'clock. And as you mentioned, the Disruptor is out.
Yeah, it looks like Classic is going to follow him into Disruptor as well. He's adding his 2nd Robo, getting that support bay as well. So definitely wants to get his own. And it looks like, I mean, we might be in for a long PvP here. We don't get these as often, but Blink Disruptor is a lot of fun.
Can you actually get a little bit of a Dark Templar to pull around the enemy and cutting some of a probe
Oh yeah.
of each expansion?
No, totally.
In late game?
It's actually like you get Blink in this matchup as well. In fact, against Protoss and against Terran. Well, I'm sure you know this from your Terran games, but like mass Blink DT at the late game to pick off planetaries or something, you can do similar stuff against Protoss. In fact, we see Blink DTs jump on top of Disruptors sometimes.
But at the same time, we see a lot of Zealots are coming to Classic's 3rd, but here is going to be some battle going on in the middle as well. I think Classic needs to pay attention, make some decision making here.
Oh my god,
Is he just gonna give up his expansion?
Yeah. I
He
think
just lost 22 probes.
this is like looking really good for Zest right now. The DTs come in that kind of force him away, but the positioning of Zest was so strong that Classic was afraid of losing his 4th as well.
Here is one Dark Templar. Okay, there's a one photon cannon. So we'll be defending the 3rd.
Yeah, comes into the main, but Stalker's gonna catch him.
Oh, I think the Warp Prism will get picked off.
See if that DT ends up getting any damage, but now Classic's in really a terrible spot. He does have a lot of Archons. I mean, his army looks good, but a few good Disruptor hits, and it's not going to be able to beat whatever Zest has.
I don't see both of the players is collecting or having some of high Templars for the Storms.
Yeah, Storm isn't very popular right now in PvP. Really, people just love Disruptors.
We see a lot of Archon. So, is Archon good in PvP?
Oh, it's ridiculous. Yeah, well, the thing is, it's good against Zealots, and Zealots are the best thing. But of course, Disruptors can really wreck Archons. You know, you put so much damage out, and it's very clumpy. Ooh! All right, and sends his own out. Actually gets a clean hit there. Zest defense so far so good. Another nice Disruptor Ball being sent out. A good hit there once again as well.
The Archon, the number of Archon is so large, but behind of the Archon, the Stalkers doesn't seem doing much of a damage.
But look at this, Zealots coming back here for Zest with that flank. A good hit there with the Disruptors. Archon's still pushing forward, but
the number of Zealots is really, really high, but the Archons are doing so much of a damage here.
Oh my god.
Oh, look at the army value. The 66 versus 31.
Oh, this is crazy.
Zest
that he's
is
actually
actually
gonna
losing
break him.
Yeah, he's losing the battle here.
Well, I hope this answers your question about how good Archons are in the matchup. Pretty sick right there from Classic, and now just dominating as far as that army supply goes. I actually thought that Zest was going to be able to hold there at first, especially with his Zealots coming up, but they did not have favorable trades as they came through.
I think Zest's army value is just somewhat broken at the moment. He can't keep up. How is he going to be holding this attack?
Yeah, I don't think he's going to. He needs the best Disruptor hits we've ever seen. Well, here comes one. That's a great hit. But obviously, he's going to lose this base. He does have this counterattack of DTs. Let's see what he gets done with it. I mean, this could turn into a really wild base trade still, I guess, but he still needs some good hits. He still needs the DTs to do a lot as well. So the third base falling there for Zest.
You gotta make that Observer on time, but it's getting empowered.
Oh my god, that Observer was almost done there. So painful. Classic does have an Observer with his army. He's going to recall that back home.
I guess that base trade...
Oh, he recalled it to his main.
That base trade is not going to happen. I think Classic knows he's leading the game, so he really wants to defend his expansion. He knows his army value is much higher than Zest at the moment, but he will be losing his 4th expansion.
The DT is still doing work for Zest, though, huh? There's only... Okay, now he has a bunch of Observers as more pop out. Has a cannon in the main base as well. Wow, DT's still just wrecking over here.
That's an interesting micro. You don't get to see in StarCraft 1.
No, certainly not. Blinks that DT away.
Would you like to see Blink Dark Templar in StarCraft 1?
Uninstall instantly. So, I mean, looking at the armies, right? It's like similar army supply, the same worker count somehow after all of this.
Yeah, that is very interesting. I thought Classic was just gonna end the game, but that 4 Dark Templar...
Oh, they wrecked everything.
Yeah.
If he had had one more Observer, I think that this game could be over right now, but just had to recall, and then like it was at his main Nexus, just nothing working out for him. Observer speed actually on the way now for Classic, realizing that DTs are a big part of Zest's game.
So here is Zest taking his 3rd once again. Not much of a battle going on, just pretty much checking out how much of army each other has. Zest needs to be careful with his Stalker.
I think Zest has the edge right now. He has 5 Disruptors. He has no Archons against, like, now 9 Archons. So that is ridiculous, but 5 Disruptors can really wreck Archons, right? Like, just send out a bunch of the balls. You can't really dodge with Archons very well against Disruptor shots.
Ooh, we're prison. We'll get picked off with a single Archon. I think it might be better. Okay, Classic needs to pay attention here. He's losing Archon for free.
Yeah, Archons for Stalkers, not a good battle all alone.
Here's a single Dark Templar. We'll be harassing the probe a little.
Yeah, not...
I'm also looking at the upgrade. So Zest has an armor upgrade advantage here.
I'm not sure which map that changes. Okay, it's going to take out this pylon. That's actually... I would say that that's really nice, but their economies are so low that, like, even umpowering these gates is not the end of the world right now.
That is a lot of Disruptors.
Yeah, look at this.
But I don't think... Okay, Classic saw that Disruptor shot is coming.
Ooh, good dodging. Oh, he does catch the foot there of the Archon. The Archon's tail gets hit. This has actually turned into an insane game right now.
Yeah, both of the players are pretty much squeezing all of their resource for army value. They're not taking expansion nor even making extra probes at the moment. We see more Disruptors being made by Classic. 3 Dark Templars is also coming from the bottom, 6 o'clock.
Yeah, the Archons, I mean, doing well for Classic, but I just wonder, you know, he has to run away basically as soon as the Disruptor shots come out. So it feels like Zest is in a bit more control during these attacks. Now the 4, oh my god, 4 DTs with 1 DT chasing, or 3 with 1 chasing. He's coming in and wrecking pylons right now.
Oh, this Dark Templar is just blinking and just cleaning up all the building, empowering all the important buildings that Classic really needs.
This is such a funny thing to watch 1 DT chase 3 DTs.
You'll never kill it.
Yeah.
But I also find this hidden expansion. I think I can call it hidden expansion because normally you expect it to see taking another expansion at the third of a Classic's third, but he's not taking his third. He's taking the center expansion.
Yeah, in fact, that base is normally like your 6th base on this map. It is normally taken kind of late.
Oh, he'll spot this Nexus, so he knows this expansion is warping.
Yeah, and I think he might be able to force a full cancel on it. We'll see. It looks like Classic trying very hard to save it. Yeah, he does come back, and the Blink DTs, though, make it out.
Oh, recall. Wow. Oh, that's a huge loss. I don't know how many Disruptors were killed there, but we can see
yeah, he's down to 3 now.
Yeah, Zest has 7 Disruptors. Can 7 Disruptors rack that amount of Archons right now?
Yeah, they definitely can.
But this is a...
If they hit.
Yeah, if they hit, yes. But...
Yeah, a couple good hits. A couple good hits. Backs up for now. More Zealots and DTs coming down.
I like how Zest is rotating all of his army, like Dark Templar with the Zealot together, constantly harassing. Oh, we'll get denied.
So Classic does have that extra base up. Zest needs to kind of make something happen. He does have higher army supply right now. See, they've really traded quite a bit. Classic has actually lost a bit more, but also he's had more bases up. Zest now starting to warp in his 4th.
What is that upgrade then Classic getting?
That's DT Blink.
Oh, DT Blink 4, okay. So it is for Classic, but here's a little bit of a battle, I guess. Classic's army is not ready, but ooh.
Yeah, big hit right there. And now Zest, with that little harassment force, doing a great job as well. A couple more Disruptor hits come out and clear an Archon. Feels like Zest is really starting to take this one. Huge Disruptor hits.
I think Zest wants to fight because he's losing his expansion. And he lost a lot of probe as well. He had all those worker lead, but now it's all even out. And this disruptors,
And he's pushing forward. Oh my god, the disruptor hits on those disruptors there. And Zest is just gonna win this game.
Yeah, that was super messy fight, but Zest will take the win.
Wild base trade there. Tied up now 2-2.
I'm surprised how well he made a comeback when he lost a huge battle at a 200 battle.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm surprised that Classic won that battle as well. Like, it felt to me like Zest actually had a slightly better composition, but he did have so many of his charge lots out on the map. And when he brought them back, they came through like this little choke, and the amount of Archons that Classic had was insane. So, kind of a wild series so far. I actually have no idea who's going to take it, and we're going to go to our craziest map to finish it off. A 4-player map on GSL Nautilus.
4-player map. Haven't seen 4-player map for a while.
Yeah, they mostly got rotated out of StarCraft 2 a long time ago now. But we keep one in for good measure. Nautilus is actually the best 4-player map we've ever had in GSL, so excited to see it here. And let's see who's going to go to Code S. Let's find out.
GSL Season 3, Code A. Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Zest. Alpha X, Classic.
All right. Well, Nautilus, you know, 4-player map, it's very quadrant-y, I guess you could call it. Like, you have each base basically has 4 bases that they can get to that are really, really simple, and then everything else gets much further away. Then we have these speed-up zones in the center that kind of make it so that if you're cross-spawn, it's actually the rush distance is the same. If you're going through the center, it basically maps out the same for that. But still, it doesn't really play like a 2-player map at all.
Interesting.
It was actually like a really good idea. I think that's part of the reason why this map's a bit better. A lot of 4-player maps we've had in the past, like, for instance, Terran versus Protoss, if you were cross-spawn, we just never saw Terran win. It was just like so far away that by the time they get there, Protoss has like 5 Colossus, and it's like, all right, get out of here. But yeah, for PvP, I mean, any manner of things can happen. Definitely, we see more hidden nexuses on this map than any other map. Since you do have just so many bases on it, things are way out of the way.
I'm also looking carefully over both players' SimCity. I see Zest was making the pylon at the ramp. Usually you build your pylon behind of the gateway, but he built his pylon right in front of the ramp.
Yeah, sometimes we see that, and I personally don't like it because if they do try to bust you, it gets very annoying. Like if they do like a Stalker Prism bust or something.
And you get unpowered.
Yeah, so you have to be like really on top of remaking that pylon. But occasionally when they set it up like that, they use it to like power a low ground battery a little bit quicker or something like that in case of emergency or whatever. But I kind of like just like the additional pylon down there, right? The 3rd pylon just at your natural. Yeah, it looks like they're both going to throw that down anyways. And Zest. That's a scouting pylon just to see like what's coming out of your gateways.
I thought that was a Classic's pylon. Why is he making another pylon right next to the pylon? I was like, I wasn't sure about it, but I guess that was Zest's pylon.
Yeah. Well, it's like
oh, he finished it.
Yeah, look at that.
Is that a mistake?
No, he just really wanted to know what units were coming out, right? Because it's completely different game if it's Stalker Sentry, Stalker Stalker, or Adept Adept. Those are like kind of the 3 things that you can see in PvP for that first round of units. And just seeing which one it is super telling. Like if it's 2 Adepts, you got to play it completely different than if it's Stalkers. Then if it's a Sentry, it's like, oh, okay, now he's going to expand. So let's that finish. I think it was probably worthwhile there for Zest, and looks pretty even. It looks pretty mirrored, right?
Yes. You see here, there's a 4v4 battle of stalkers. Both of the players are pretty much scouting. I think they're finding a proxy pylon somewhere.
Yeah, not too much to find this game. Looks like they're playing pretty straightforward. Twilight on both sides. Do you ever, when you play, you know, being a StarCraft 1 pro, when you play StarCraft 2, do you ever get annoyed when your units don't get stuck? Like when I watch Stalker vs. Stalker and nothing gets stuck, I'm like, why do you guys even play this game, right?
Yeah, they're very slippery. They just get out easily. Okay, here's a hallucinated Phoenix going inside of each other's base and scouting each other. How much of a stalkers and sentries you guys have? I don't know if he has seen that third gateway was warping.
I think he just caught an eye on that. He does have the Forge coming up here for Classic, so maybe gonna get ahead on those upgrades just slightly. Forge, of course, coming down for Zest as well. So that's kind of the we aren't going to be able to kill each other building.
So +1 on the way for Classic. Does it make a huge difference in PvP?
Yeah. The plus attack upgrades are pretty sick. Like, there was a long time where +2 timing attacks were the thing to do in PvP. It gives so much extra damage in there. And honestly, it's just kind of like, as soon as you realize in StarCraft 2 PvP that you can't really kill him and he can't kill you, you got to throw that Forge down, because otherwise you're just going to be behind. So Robo's coming up on both sides. Yeah, this is pretty much as mirrored as it could be. Lucid Phoenix continue to check that out.
Yeah, I think Classic, yes, Classic is adding 2 more gateway. So I think it's going to be evening out of both of the warp gate.
They're both going to be on 4, I believe, now. Zest went for 3 before, and now he's adding his 4th. So pretty standard production. And 3rd Nexus time, all right. Getting into another big macro game.
Isn't it great to put down the 3rd Nexus already at this time?
Well, I think with the amount of hallucinated Phoenixes we have going back and forth, it's like so hard to attack your opponent right now because you're playing with almost exactly the same thing. So it's like, okay, maybe you have one more Stalker, but I've started my Nexus, so I think that puts pressure on Zest to make his 3rd. But he's actually making an Immortal instead of a 3rd.
Immortal.
Okay, I think Zest is going to attack. I think we're going to see Immortal, and then we're going to see Prism, and he's going. And he's going to try to bust.
Yeah, I think I can also see he's cutting a little bit of pro production here. So is he committing to go some bust soon?
If he makes a Prism, yeah. There's his 3rd Nexus, which is fine. You can make that and still go. Oh no, he goes Observer. Okay, that's interesting. Maybe his I missed it and he didn't send an hallucination that saw the 3rd. Because to go Immortal Nexus as opposed to Nexus Immortal, I think it would have been better. Nexus Immortal.
Ooh, that was I find that was a little too fast using.
Oh, the Guardian Shield.
Yeah, the Guardian Shield. But here's a little bit of harassment with the 2 adepts.
That's
taking up a lot of probe.
That's pretty huge damage, honestly.
Oh.
Saves one. But yeah, the Guardian Shield is like so automatic for Protoss players. It's just like as soon as you see anything, you press it.
Oh, I see something. Red dot on the minimap. I should press G.
Yeah, pretty much. It's very close to that. As soon as anything's shooting, it's like, all right, let's do it.
So that should be the +2 on the way for Classic already? That's really fast.
Yeah, it looks like he's actually lining up a +2 timing attack here. He's got his charge on the way. He's added a ton of gates. He's getting the Templar Archives. It looks pretty good for him. Some force fields going down as Zest tries to push forward. I think Classic is just barely not ready for anything.
I also saw the production tab. Classic was making the Warp Prism, so that means, as you mentioned, when you're making Warp Prism, you're going to go for the attack soon. So
yeah,
I guess he's waiting for the +2 timing here.
Yeah, look at his gateway count. He's got 8 Warp Gates against 4 at the moment. His charge is going to be done. His +2 is going to be done. This is really sharp from Classic. I think Classic's going to be able to get him. And look at this.
I think I saw one Archon, yeah.
Oh, man. Okay, look at this. Zest is starting to throw down mass shield battery. He knows what's up.
Oh, but here is 3 Zealot unloading inside of Zest's base.
That's a smart move. That's going to really tax his multitasking here. All right, those Zealots going in. There is a warping round here from Zest, so that's really good that he warped in some Zealots, but don't forget, we have more gates right now for Classic. Classic taking a new position. Kind of a funny place to put that over the rocks. Yeah, against the force shield batteries, decides not to attack in as of yet. Another big warping round on both sides.
Is Immortal good against Archon?
An Immortal beats an Archon one-on-one. So, kind of, but like in these fights with the Zealots, the Archons are better, if that makes sense, right? But like if the Immortal gets the right pairing, like if you're hitting Stalkers with it, nothing beats that DPS, right? It's just like ridiculous. It just chunks them down so quickly. But like if it's attacking Zealots or something, the Archon is way better.
So I guess the Classic will be taking another expansion towards the Zest. Interesting.
Yeah, he's staying kind of aggro here, the way he's walking back and forth. He's waiting to see if Zest wants to come out to fight, because he is the one going, you know, I talked about it a little bit, I think, at the beginning of the PvP, where it's like trendy right now to go more Zealot heavy as opposed to Immortal heavy. So, yeah, comes out and actually pokes a bit with those Stalkers. I don't think Zest can come out and take this fight. No. If there's a lot of surface area, Classic will wreck it. He's got to stay back a bit. But I like the poking. Like, you may as well try to micro your Stalkers here for value.
I like how Classic is making all those action move and also taking that aggressive 4th Nexus at the 6 o'clock. I don't think Zest will ever find that expansion unless he sends his Warp Prism towards the 6 o'clock side. So he may think.
Oh, I think he just flew something over it.
Yeah, that was Phoenix.
I just saw Hallucinated Phoenix, yeah. I think he saw it now.
So the longer the game it goes, it is going to be favored towards the Classic. And
Classic's actually throwing out Stargates as well.
There is more of an Archon. Merging.
Yeah, the Archon's going to be very, very crucial here against the heavy Zealot composition.
The Arc looks much better for Classic.
Yeah, this is kind of the major development that we've seen in PvP lately. Sitting in these big arcs with Zealots as opposed to those Immortal-based armies.
I think Zest needs to go Dark Templar just like the previous game where we just saw. I think he's falling behind because he's not taking his 4th expansion anyways. He needs to do something, but he can't really move out here.
Yeah, his composition is a bit off. Like, he's very Stalker heavy, and that's not going to fight all that well here, I think. We have 12 more charge lots for Classic. They're on pretty similar worker counts, just a little bit more for Classic there as well.
+3 has complete for both players.
And I want to see what those Stargates are actually going to end up doing here for Classic. So he did add a couple, I think. All right, little Zealot drop here at that 3rd base. Zest with a huge group of Stalkers over here, just microing as best he can. Classic warping into some Zealots for the harass. Yeah, just trying to pick off that Prism. Now, Classic is wrapping around right now.
Oh no, losing the Warp Prism. The art looks much better for Classic in my opinion. I don't think.
Yeah, this is really very much about repositioning those armies, trying to get the better engage. Oh god, now Zest has a beautiful position.
Ooh, those charge lots pretty much got stopped by the Archon. Stalkers will be blinking behind, but Zealots are melting against the Archon.
Look at these Immortals go to work as well, chunking down those Archons so much. A Disruptor Shot does come out and does some decent damage there, but without a doubt, that went way better for Zest.
I think that was a huge mistake for Classic. I don't know how he can stop this army.
Yeah, no, it's looking like he is dead, and GG is called. Classic pushing Zest to the edge there in his first season back, and Zest last season before going to the military, but Zest is able to overcome him there at the end. Just a little bit of mispositioning. It felt like you said,
Yeah.
Scan, like Classic was taking these great arcs,
Yeah.
but then got kind of forced back a little bit.
He was leading all the... He had more expansion as well, but the one mistake of not having a great position and everything just dies because of the concave of how Zest's army was ready for the fight.
Yeah, it was a bit rough, but you know what? Zest, with that killer instinct that he's honed over the years, again, one of our most successful Protoss of all time in his last GSL season. Maybe ever, but probably he'll come back. I mean, it seems like everyone just returns after military at this point. But yeah, we're going to be having an interview here with Zest, see how he's feeling momentarily. Knocking a fan favorite in Classic out of the tournament. Andy, take it away.
That was a very neck-and-neck match, but in the end, it is Zest defeating Classic to make it to the Codex. We're going to have an interview with Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Zest. Congratulations. Thank you. So there was a match against Classic, who just returned from the military service. So how do you feel today, Zest?
일단 도우 형이 준비를 되게 잘 해오고.
Well, I can tell that Classic has made sore preparation.
너무 무난하게 해가지고 좀 꼬였던
But
것
he did play really safe. So you know that was kind of weird. So specifically speaking,
그냥 전략적으로 준비해 오실 줄 알았는데.
you know, I thought he'd prepare more strategically wise.
싸움 걸면서 되게 잘하시더라고요. 그래가지고.
But he was opting for the macro and he was playing really good. So you know, at times I did feel a lot of danger. But it felt like you were getting very confident of his play style throughout the match. And you were able to make a comeback by using this disruptor so well.
해답이 아니라 그 도우 형이 너무 초중반에 너무 잘해가지고.
You know, I didn't really find the solutions throughout the match. You know, it's just that he was playing so good. So I realized that if I offered aggressive plays, I would be able to beat him.
초중반에 너무 불리했어가지고.
But I was very behind in the early middle game. But we can definitely tell that you were very determined to win today, Zest. And last season, you were eliminated in the Code A, and that was very unexpected. So I'm sure you're very happy right now, Zest. So how do you want to finish this season?
일단 연습 때는 항상 잘 되는데.
Well, in practice, everything goes well.
너무 경기 때 제가 생각이 너무 많은 것 같아요.
But in the match, you know, I think I have too many worries.
경기하면 더 잘 될 것 같아요.
So if I play comfortably, I think that should give me a better result.
솔직히 그 로맨티 그
You know, honestly speaking, in Romanticide, the fourth game,
진짜 가야겠구나.
you know, I thought I just have to go to the military service after getting eliminated today. There was a really pinch moment,
어떻게 이겼는지 모르겠어요.
but I don't really know how I won that match.
저희는 주성 선수 언제나 보내고 싶지가 않습니다.
You know, we don't want to send you away,
그러실
Zest.
것 같은데요. 마지막으로 팬분들께
So anything you want to say to your fans before you go?
제가 항상 그 온라인 대회에서 좀 잘 해가지고.
In online matches, you know, I perform well.
하실 텐데 그
So my fans have high expectations, but in an offline stage, I don't tend to play well. So my fans are a little worried, but I'll try to play better in the future. Once again, congratulations, Zest. Thank you.
자, 이렇게 시즌 3 첫 번째 16강 진출자
Congrats
주성
to
선수
Zest, not being
만나봤고요.
knocked out in
코데이
Code 8
1일차
this time, but I gotta say,
이경기
Classic.
선수와
He looked good. He looked strong.
Yeah, all those decision making. That was
All right, guys.
insane.
Quick commercial break, and then we'll be back with our first TVP of the night.